With the halfway mark in the distance, everyone left in the World Series of Poker main event is a contender.
I'm gonna need a miracle.
Oh, go Hawks! But some have plans to do more than just contend.
I had a big draw there. I check.
Wow, what a big hand you had.
Pick a card, pick a card. Best hand wins. You might have a little itty-bitty pair. You might be just doing that bully thing on me, too. Okay, good luck, bud. What would happen if I put this fork in my eye?
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. The buzz is getting a little louder as we reach the end of day 4. I'm Lon McCarran with Norman Chad and Kara Scott from the Amazon room, where 2005 main event champ Joe Hashem's in trouble. He jammed his short stack with jacks into the aces of John Faltz.
Faltz, another Maryland fellow. We're all over the joint.
Here is the flop. A set of aces for Faltz. Hashem's going to need runner.
The 49-year-old world champ can only laugh at his fate.
6 on the turn ends matters. Joe Hashem run out of here on day 4.
His first main event cash since 2009, his 4th overall.
Why don't you make the final table of this?
He final tabled the 10K Horse Championship just prior to the main event. 5 total cashes at this World Series for Joe. Mike Cloud is headed back to Blackhawks country as he busted a little earlier. Nice run for the 55-year-old. One player who is more than hanging around is Kid Poker Daniel Negreanu.
No one in the field has more bracelets than him, 6, but he's never made the main event final table.
Antonio Esfandiari has used his one time way more than one time.
Antonio leads a charmed life. How else can you explain his opportunity to work next to you and me at the final table?
Fatima Morera de Mello has over $500,000.
If she wins the main event, I predict no one will ever win field hockey gold and a poker gold bracelet ever again.
Ness Riley's got the bragging rights in her house.
Her hubby, Tim, already has cash, but that was chump change. She's going after life-changing change.
And there's the chip leader, Joe McKeon, with $2.7 million.
He's got a math degree from Arcadia University near Philadelphia, so he knows $2.7 million is a big number.
279 remain. You see McKeon on top. Helmuth's protege, Mark Kroon, sits in 4th. Chad Power currently in 10th.
And where does Chad Power currently live? The state of Maryland, baby.
That's cute you put that on there. How you doing?
Bringing you luck.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Look at the hashtag she wanted me to add.
Flynn says, give Daniel your chips. Lynn says, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Daniel has another new cast of table mates as day 4 winds down. He has the 3rd biggest stack here.
Daniel can assess a table as quickly as anyone. I just wish he would reassess his beard as well.
In seat number 1, Brazilian semi-pro Felipe Ramos.
He claims he's friends with Neymar, one of the greatest soccer players in the world. I'll believe it when I see it, big shot.
You had a friendly table all day?
Yeah.
So this table didn't break?
Oh.
Oh, at my table, I broke 6 tables already.
You broke all the tables.
Neymar sent a video good luck message to last year's Brazilian November 9er Bruno Politano. Ramos will not play 10-6 suited. You saw the 3 chips in play, but everyone knows the main event doesn't really start until the lavender chips hit the felt.
Love the lavender.
On the button is Sean Wen, 30-year-old pro with almost $400,000 in career earnings. He raises it with Jack 4. Eugen Fritzler, living in Berlin, born in Russia, 8-7 of hearts in the small blind.
30-year-old student. Wynn had nothing. Fritzler has nothing. They both look like they like nothing.
Fritzler doesn't appear to be trusting Wynn here. Daniel waiting in the big blind. And that's a re-raise to 66,000 with 8-7 of hearts.
Boy, Daniel's new table mates are frisky with squadouche.
And Daniel does not have squadouche here. Ace-Jack.
In the big blind, ace-jack offsuit. Doesn't usually look too good when it's been 3-bet, though, in front of you.
Daniel, though, appears to want to get involved. That's a 4-bet to 156.
Why not? I've done crazier things.
Well, nothing raises. I know you have nothing re-raises. I know you know he has nothing raises again.
66 plus 90 more.
You saw Wynn fold. Now Fritzler.
They call me 4-betting kid poker. It's my thing. It's what I've been doing for years. It's how I got all these chips. 4-bet, jam.
Especially with no hand.
He's laughing. He knows it's not true. He caught me. That's my style, yo.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not in the hand, so.
Ritzler gets rid of it.
Now I can talk.
This is the second four bet of the whole tournament. And it was the same spot. Ace king both times.
That's it, man.
Not that time, but the other
Only
two
ace
times.
king?
No, sometimes with pocket jacks, pocket queens, gamble.
Gamble. Just the same.
Yeah.
I was trying to steal your money, and he's trying to steal my money, and then you caught
It
it.
ended up where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, the rich always get richer, no?
With fewer than 300 players remaining in this main event, it becomes a little bit harder to luck your way into pots. Loose translation, Norman, this main event is not for you. Every hand is hotly contested. Every result is magnified. It's not about the cards. It's about what you do with the cards.
If you're not stealing, you're not playing the game. I don't know if anyone has ever said that before, but if they haven't, I'm taking it for myself. Lon, you're a simpleton, so I'll make this simple. Day 1 is about calling. Day 2 is about raising. Day 3 is about 3-betting. Day 4 is about 4-betting. Day 5 is about
5-betting.
Hey, it's no accident we've been calling the main event this well for this long.
Daniel has a big bag of tools to use. I think he's already got this table figured out. Current payout right now is over 29 grand, not long before the field gets a raise. Let's go to an outer table and check in with 3-time Olympic field hockey medalist Fatima Moreira de Mello, who knows this game well.
She also acts on an entourage-type show, and she won the Dutch version of Survivor in 2012.
De Mello with pocket tens kept the advantage post-flop against the ace-king of Kwan Lau. Lau with the bigger of these two respectable chip stacks bet 60,000.
Lau, 29-year-old London pro. Fatima speaks Dutch, English, German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Lon, you and I barely can order a cafe au lait.
Fatima will call for 60,000. Turn card now is an ace. Lau hits that, leaving de Mello in the dust. A check from Lau.
And the ace might worry her.
She does check back. River card now, another ace. Ace is full for Lau.
Lau now with a monster, and of course with another ace hitting the board, Fatima would think it's less likely he has an ace.
Poker is weird. Lau reaching for chips. He will lead out with those two aces and deuces on the board. That is 130,000, something to think about for Fatima.
Well, if he doesn't have an ace, 95% of the time she's good here. If he does have an ace, 95% of the time she's not good here.
Actually, 100% of the time.
Whatever.
A key moment for de Mello here and her main event. She doesn't believe.
That hand cost her a big chunk of her stack.
Lau vaults over the 1 million chip mark while gouging de Mello for over half her stack.
I wonder if she steams in 6 different languages in her head.
Lau increases his stack by almost 40% after getting a call on the river from de Mello. De Mello now will try to collect herself. That one hurt the Dutch Olympian. All right, let's go back to the featured table to meet Russian poker pro Dmitry Chop and his 1.3 million friends in front of him.
Yeah, I probably would call it.
Dmitry looks down at King Jack of clubs. There's a number of players in the World Series database named Fish and Check. He's the only Chop that I know of. A raise to 21,000.
1,000 players, the most ever cashed in this year's main event. None of them was named Phil Ivey. He's dead to me.
Win will fold.
Negreanu and Ivey are friends. Negreanu grinds out the World Series. Ivey shows up for 2 events. 2!
How much, $21? Paid in full.
Daniel will call from the small blind. Fernando Perez in the big.
Running hot.
Gets out of the way. Daniel's got chips, aura, and green tea. He is ready.
Some lightning in a bottle. Thinking of a flop.
Here is the flop. 8, 10, 9,
Check.
both with straight draws. Chops open-ended.
That's not the flop Daniel was thinking of, though.
Daniel checked. And there is 26,000 from Chop.
Understandably betting his up and down straight draw in position.
Daniel calling.
Negreanu provides resistance. I might have folded and sipped more tea.
Turn card now is a jack. Negreanu gets there with a nut straight. The best that Chop can hope for is a chop. 13 years with you. I've never said that.
I wish it had been 15 before we heard it.
Both check.
Nice check back from Chop.
4 of spades on the river. Daniel's hand is best.
He's running so hot, he announced it.
And he's going to try to get some value here on the river. 80,000 to Dimitri. He folds.
Oh, why don't you have a queen?
Well done by Chop. He didn't give Daniel a dime after the flop.
Flash?
Great. No, I'm just running hot. I keep catching everything.
Sometimes out of position is good position.
Just keep having it.
Something is not right here.
The run good for Daniel continues here at the 2015 main event. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by the WSOP social game, poker's #1 mobile game. Free download available now in the App Store and Google Play. Welcome back to the 2015 World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. From high atop the Rio, we go inside to check on Jake Cody, the youngest to score poker's Triple Crown. Cody enjoying a deep run in this main event. Once the new kid on the block, he's got a lot of poker experience in him now.
Like Daniel Negreanu, Cody got his first bracelet the very first time he cashed the World Series. It was the 2011 Heads Up No Limit Championship, and he beat Yevgeny Timoshenko for the title.
That was a great match to call. Jake with a flop set of 7s is jousting with one-time Day 4 chip leader Mike Shanahan, who's in big trouble with only top pair. Shanahan, the Indiana attorney, bet $33,000.
On this side of the Atlantic, they often say no one runs like Jason Mercier. On that side of the Atlantic, they often say no one runs like Jake Cody.
Shanahan will call for $60,000 more to see the turn.
By the way, I'm not completely sure that's Jake Cody under there.
A deuce on the turn. Shanahan now drawing dead.
Cody woke up 4 hours before his flight here from London to find his car towed with his passport in it. But you know he runs well, and he somehow made it.
Wow. And he's putting chips together just shy of a full stack. That's 99,000.
Boy, this hand's gone from knee deep to neck deep for Shanahan.
And a quick call from the attorney.
Yeah, at this point, Shanahan just hoping Cody's betting a club draw.
Jack of hearts, and that's going to leave a mark. Shanahan, Rivers, queens up.
Boy, just a disaster for Shanahan. How's he ever going to get away from this one now?
Jake Cody with a hidden set. Now he's going to test Shanahan for $300,000. And he puts it in. Jake Cody just took almost all of Shanahan's chips.
Yeah, from chip leader to chip crumbs.
Bad river.
Race is like couldn't get away from anything but a jack.
Shanahan and Cody wind up on different ends of the scale there. Cody now over 1.3 million.
Course I can take, sir. You
On hand flops.
293 players now. McKeon holding steady. At another table, 32-year-old Cleveland amateur Jesse Howells with 51 big blinds.
He's chief financial officer for his family's development company, and he wants me to know he's only wearing a hoodie because he's freezing.
Jesse in a hand with 36-year-old Austrian resident Heinz Kamutsky, a native of Germany.
This is his third main event cash, and FYI, that is his left knee under his left armpit.
They've seen the river giving Howells top 2, but Kamutsky has been way ahead since he flopped a set of 5s. Howells just bet enough to put Kamutsky all in.
Well, again, a set against top 2 pair, but this time top 2 has bet.
Tablemate Antonio S. Vandiari trying to get a read on these guys. Apparently, he's got a side bet on the player's hands with fellow pro Vivek Rajkumar.
Now, Kamutsky seems kerfuddled here. He's got the set of 5s. This is usually good.
It so often just comes down to your read on your opponent. Kamutsky folds.
Yo, can we please see? We have a huge bet. Huge bet.
Can you mock it first?
Yeah.
Mock it.
I owe you one. But we have to see it. Can I see it or no? I owe you a hand. I owe you a hand whenever you want. These, hold on.
Yeah, Antonio's side bet just might put Kamutsky on tilt.
Kamutsky saw he had the best hand.
Jesse Howells. 5,000. 5,000? Yes. I picked up Vivek for 5 dimes.
What was the bet? Said you had 8?
I said you have pocket fives.
Don't get another one.
I mean, it's either kings or ace king, nothing else. And I didn't think ace king was check raised that small.
I mean, it was either that or the other. But he looked so comfortable, man. I would have probably laid it down. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done, but he looked very comfortable, for sure. Probably because he thought he had the best hand.
No, but I told him that ace king is not good.
He thought he had the best hand.
I told him ace king wasn't good.
I understand.
He knew.
I don't know. Sometimes you have to go broke. It's pretty freaking hard to make a set.
I'm steaming now.
Of course you're steaming. You just laid down the best hand for a million chip pot. So I owe you dinner and a hand anytime, okay?
Well, for all that went down, Kamutski's taking it pretty well. Let's get back to Jake Cody, who just flopped top 2 against Jay Sharon, a poker pro from Syosset, New York, with an open-ended straight draw. Sharon checked. Cody?
Is there a germ situation here? Because everyone is completely bundled up under their garments.
With aces up, Cody bets 37,000. Sharon with his draw comes along quickly.
Cody in another great spot here. Top 2 pair against the draw.
Turn card now is a 7, and Sharon hits the straight.
By the way, as poker moves forward, I don't think we're best served by all the players being in mummy wraps.
Cody suddenly in not so great shape.
What is this, the World Series of Franciscan monk poker?
82,000 this time from Cody.
Actually, come to think of it, I guess monks were the first ones to wear hoodies.
Sharon, want to repop him here? No, just a call.
And Sharon does have Cody trapped here.
All right, river card, deuce of hearts. Oh, Sharon almost checked there.
That was the check swing of checks. Sharon nearly checked. That was a checked check.
But he knows often you have to do your own bidding on the river. Oh, wow, a big bet, 250,000.
You under wraps, Cody can't like that. His opponent, check call, then lead out for a $250,000 when a useless deuce hits.
And Norman, that was 250 into a pot of 301,000. But look at Cody firing back with a raise to a cool $500,000.
Well, I'm shocked Jake Cody raised there, Lon. He's not going to get called by worse.
2 million chip stacks. He says all in.
Well, that's for about 3/4 of Jake's remaining chips. He didn't expect that.
Is it? How much is it? How much is it?
950,000.
They're pretty outrageous bluff.
With the maroon-clad Long Island monk bluff shove?
Cody gives up. Finally, a fold from Jake saved him chips, but that raise to a $500,000 did him no favors.
You always seem to have it against me. I hope. Still not seen it.
Half of Cody's stack goes to that man, Jay Sharon. Jay went to make a check on the river, then decided to bet. That hesitation could have tipped Jake Cody off that something wasn't quite right. A big hit to Cody's stack while Sharon moves over $1.7 million. Fun city for some, especially those still alive in the main event. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. 3 solid pros enjoying success here. Justin Bonomo, Matt Waxman, and John Racner. After his big loss to Jake Cody, Michael Shanahan's elimination seemed just a matter of time.
In Fun City, blue skies can turn stormy awful quickly.
From day 4 chip leader to day 4 statistic. Back at the feature table, we check in with Daniel Negreanu, who has a system in place to maximize his performance at the table.
What's working for me right now really is just doing what I do. You know, having a lot of faith in the system that I created many years ago that a lot of other pros have adapted. I call it small ball. It works really well, especially in the main event. I'm going to let my opponents make the big mistakes and hope to capitalize off that.
Al Gore didn't create the internet, and Daniel might not have created small ball, but boy, he sure plays it well.
Ryan D'Angelo opened the action under the gun with ace-king for 22,000.
Okay.
Daniel in the small blind comes along with ace-7 suited. And Fernando Perez with trade deuce of hearts takes a bargain flyer in the big blind. Perez, 49-year-old Mexico City attorney. Here is the flop. Trey, 10-9. Nut flush draw for Negreanu. Bottom pair for Perez. Ace-king looking a little pale. Check, check.
Daniel just went small ball. Some folks would have put a donk bet out there with the nut flush draw.
Checked around. Turn card. Uh-oh, deuces, spades. Nut flush for Negreanu. Bottom 2 for Perez.
Well, Daniel's made his hand, so no reason to keep the pot small any longer.
He bets 35,000.
Nice strategy.
Threes and deuces will be good here at least 75% of the time, but if your opponent has a spade flush, threes and deuces won't be good here at least 75% of the time.
100% of the time.
Whatever.
Perez with the raise to 105,000 with 2 pair. He thinks he's in the driver's seat. And D'Angelo folds his king-high flush draw.
Daniel has 3 options here. Call, raise, or fold.
Fold?
Sure, it would be an avant-garde play, but he didn't expect a raise. He prefers small ball, and the pot's getting big. He's got the nuts now, but he still could lose on the river. You can never be too careful.
How did you get this job?
I think it was on Craigslist.
We answered the wrong ad. There is the re-raise from Negreanu to 250.
That's got to be a jolt to the amateur.
Yeah, really should send a signal to Perez. Attorneys are trained to pick up little signals, right?
Attorneys are trained to double bill.
Well, he does make the call for 145 more. Negreanu sitting pretty. River card, 5 of clubs. No help to Perez. He's toast.
All in.
And that would put Perez all in.
Now, this is an easy fold to me. You just don't want to call off all your chips with too small a pair. You can only beat a bluff. Daniel bet the turn. He re-raised you on the turn with the flush out there.
And Daniel's not one to move in lightly.
Jeez. Okay, I believe you the spade.
He believed him.
Daniel's running hot.
A nice pot giving the dangerous pro more ammunition. Negreanu back over 1 million.
Pretty sick.
I had at least the ace of spade. You know, the other one was in question.
A blocker.
Huh?
A blocker.
Yeah, I definitely had the blocker.
As usual, Daniel stacking chips.
Nice to see some stars still shining here deep in the main event.
Antonio, one of them. He has gotten a little lucky to still be in this main event, as we've seen, but none of this would be possible without his father, Bijan. He brought Antonio to the United States, and their relationship has taken off ever since.
I mean, where would I start? My dad is my hero. He sacrificed everything back home in Iran to bring us to America at the chance, you know, of the American dream. I couldn't imagine living a better life than I get to live today. And so if it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Real quick, Dad, can you come over here? Because this bracelet is for you.
He's my best friend. He's my hero. He's the coolest. He's the cutest. He's the sharpest. He's all of the above. And you know what really gets me is when people come up to me and say, I wish I had the relationship with my father that you have. There's no greater feeling than taking care of your family. Being able to take care of my father is probably the greatest achievement in my life so far. I've learned a lot about fatherhood from my dad. And I've lived a life with a great father figure. And so obviously I'm gonna bring that to my son as well. I really hope that I am able to be as good a father to my son as my father was to me.
If his dad were as good as Antonio says, he would not let his son go out in public dressed like this.
Antonio with 2 red 10s in early position, started the hand with 167,000, and that's a raise to 125. Interesting.
Antonio just celebrated the birth of his first child, Noble, in January.
So Antonio preferring to send a signal that he's not folding here rather than shove it all in. It's a nuance of the game. Ace-7 suited for Nicholas Abarisk, a Canadian living in Ireland.
He's a graduate of the University of Prince Edward Island in Canada. I believe they are the Boilermakers.
He seems a bit befuddled by Antonio's raise amount. Ace-7 suited into the muck. Andrew Jenkins, this is a different kettle of soup. Ace-King suited poker pro from Pacific Grove, California.
Yeah, he's got a big hand and a bigger stack than his Fandiari.
Jenkins on the button, says all in. Jesse Howells now in the small blind, folds. Big blind is DJ Buckley. He gets out of the way. Antonio's going to put the rest in. He's racing for his tournament life. Jenkins has nearly tripled his stack here on day 4, trying to take all of Antonio's. Here is the flop. Pocket 10 still good through the flop.
It's a good first step. Good first step.
Antonio's report to the rail and his dad Bijan. All right, turn card now, another 7. Okay, so far, one more streak to survive.
Yeah, good second step. Jenkins is going to need an ace or a king to knock out the magician.
The river card for all Antonio's chips is the 9 of diamonds. Double up.
We're alive! We're alive!
Oh, I said 9 diamonds.
Holy I want to flip. It's been 3 years.
Jenkins would have liked that one.
I'm telling you, last time I won a flip was at the one drop out table. I did say I'll never about a flip again. So.
We saw him win a flip earlier on day 4.
It was only right. 1 and 1, right?
With his dad watching his every move, Antonio doubles up to keep his final table dream alive. World Series of Poker main event action continues. 287 players are left. One will take home the gold bracelet and almost $7.7 million. At an outer table, Madison, Wisconsin bar owner Mark Kroon in the yellow hat announces pair of 9s. And the good friend of Phil Hellmuth keeps on rolling with 1.6 million chips. Poker Brett standing nearby. Phil isn't done competing at this main event. He's trying to add a side action championship to his resume.
Welcome back to the Side Action Championship. Tonight's event is dealing. Players must deal 2 cards into 9 boxes on the table. Each card that touches a box is worth 1 point. Each card that misses is minus 1 point. There are bonuses for speed. If it takes more than 15 seconds, you get no points.
Remember, there's 8 boxes, JRB. 2 in the corner, 6 sweep, 2 in the corner. No, it's a 5 sweep. 5. Phil, you're confusing me.
Jean Robert, 3, 2, 1. Very impressive start.
It's precision.
Don't shark me, Norm. Don't shark me, Norm.
A little slow, but very accurate.
I don't think he made 15 seconds.
How much time was that? That felt
15.9 seconds.
disqualified. You were nervous. I'm an embarrassment to the vest.
JR, you went over 15 seconds. You have 0 points for the second straight event.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Practice playing the piano. All right.
Maria, 3, 2, 1.
Short, but she's going to make the time.
Thought you were a natural, but you're not quite.
Fudge.
9.5 seconds. Maria, no bonus, but you received 10 points. Phil, 3, 2, 1. Very erratic.
Yeah, but I got the bonus, baby.
You did get the bonus.
Phil, you'll wind up with 7 points. Cherry Bomber, 3, 2, 1. Short arm in most of it.
It's all over the place.
Ooh, that was a bad one.
Wow.
All right, I retired.
Ooh, 9.1 seconds.
No bonus.
Cherry Bomber, you'll wind up with a disappointing 0 points. Maria Ho wins at dealing. Hellmuth finishes second. JRB ties for last, which is pretty good for him.
We will break it to Helmuth later that this is not an official bracelet event. Phil's buddy Mark Kroon involved again, fooling around at the table with 7 tray after the flop. Philip McAllister check raised the paired board. Kroon repopped it to 188, and now with an open-ended straight draw, McAllister calls to build a pot of over $500,000, half his chips in the middle.
Boy, this is not in the Phil Hellmuth playbook. Kroon does not want to replicate his 2012 Day 3 blowup here in 2015.
4 of hearts misses both. McAllister, 21-year-old online poker pro from England, with much more to lose with the shorter stack. River card is a queen, and McAllister gets the straight he was looking for, and he bets just $65,000.
65,000 into a pot of 500,000? Of course, Kroon can't call 65 cents here, but he should call with 7 tray just to see Coach Hellmuth's reaction.
Mark has been caught.
What would Phil do? He would have folded already and been 45 seconds into a ramp.
Well, I mean, it'd be really hard for me to call you a 7-3.
Now he shows.
The poker brat is entertained by his protege/pupil.
McAllister, now living in Colombia, with an infusion of fresh hope, collects almost 270,000 new chips. The remaining field now enjoys a minimum payout of just over 34,000. Fatima Moreira de Mello hopes she won't be at the payout cage soon, but she is at risk and behind with ace-6 of clubs against the ace-10 of Maryland pro Chad Power.
Even I'm like kind of rooting for you.
No, yeah, it's okay.
This should be a rule in poker that once you're all in, you can't talk to the player at risk. Nothing will make him or her feel better.
Power with just a small portion of his ammunition in the middle, plus he's got the best hand. All right, the flop is Jack King 4-1 club. DeMello in big-time trouble. She had 450 to start the day, hasn't been able to keep the momentum going. 9 of hearts on the turn.
She needs a 6 for the win, 4 or a 9 for the chop.
River's a 5, she comes up short.
Good luck. Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Eventually, all the chips go to the state of Maryland.
Power with a powerful 2 million chip stack now. And the 3-time Olympic medalist in field hockey will take the walk.
Oh, okay. I just wait here. Be miserable.
No one wants her to be miserable. Oh, that's nice. Table mate Frankie Sinabili giving her a kiss.
A great run for the Olympic gold medalist. She has some real poker skills and no doubt will be back at the main event. Welcome back to the Rio and the 2015 World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Our first look at Justin Schwartz, a talented poker pro with a style all his own.
His education, he says, is the school of hard knocks, and indeed he's had a rough go of it, but quite a poker talent.
At his table, main event rookie Josh Beckley from Marlton, New Jersey, trying to make it as a pro.
His first main event, he likes to play Frisbee, which spiritually is the opposite of the school of hard knocks.
These two are matching wits post-flop. Schwartz leads with a pair of kings. Beckley bet $34,000 on a flush draw. Action back on Schwartz.
Second pair, no kicker for Schwartz. Second pair, no kicker. That's one of my most popular online seminars.
He does make the call.
I teach it.
2 pretty even stacks in the 800,000 range. 9 of spades on the turn. Schwartz still good. Beckley was the original pre-flop raiser. Schwartz checks.
And it looks like Beckley's going to fire a second barrel under the watchful eye of Justin Schwartz.
This time, he puts out 83,000.
Schwartz in a tough spot. He can't beat an ace. He can't even beat a king. He has no kicker. Schwartz can beat a draw or some random pocket pair.
Well, there is the call.
Good call. Beckley only has a draw.
Yeah, Schwartz does have the best hand going to the river. All right, the river card. Jack of spades, a scary card, so straight comes home, a flush comes home, just not Beckley's.
Check.
Schwartz checks again. Does Beckley have a third barrel in him? That's a lot of barrels for a clean-cut 24-year-old.
That does separate the men from the boys here at the main event. Wow, he's reaching. Yeah, 190 grand.
I think you have a very strong hand or a bluff.
But sometimes a bluff is a very strong hand. Capiche?
Call that polarizing, I think?
Yes. Well, he's got the right idea. Does he want to pay $190,000 more to see if he's right or wrong?
He folds.
I always have the bottom of my range, and I think they're both catching.
When they start talking about bottom of their range, that's over my head.
What is it over your head?
Good for you.
Beckley's persistence pays off, knocking on the door of $1 million. Schwartz took the hit, but still quite healthy.
I saw Josh in the gym this morning working the weights next to me, but I didn't say anything to him.
Let's swing back to the featured table where Kid Poker sits with 1.3 million, well over 100 big blinds. He has enjoyed this table. Negreanu with Queen Jack offsuit.
When you think you're running hot, you play lots of hands and expect to win them all. That ends up going one of two ways. Either you do or you don't.
Negreanu with a raise to 27,000. Fernando Perez played in last year's main event, didn't cash, but that has changed here. Ace Jack.
Perez went to Cornell University, same as three-time bracelet winner Brian Hastings, who's still alive in this main event.
So Perez makes the call for 27,000, and he will take on the six-time bracelet winner Daniel Negreanu here at this feature table. William Luth with 8-7 in the small.
If Luth didn't ride to the Rio on a motorcycle, it would be a huge upset.
Now Dimitri Chop in the big blind.
This Dimitri Chop, look at everyone at the table, figure out stack size, etc. before checking his hand is frustrating. Look at your hand. If you like it, play it. If you don't, muck it.
Wow, how disappointing to go through that big wind-up and then the peak and look at 7 deuce.
How about squeeze? Squeeze! 7 deuce squeeze!
Like he took a bad beat.
He wanted to play, I guess.
Yeah.
Longest 7 deuce muck in history.
Isn't that true? All right, we are heads up. Ace Jack against Negreanu's Queen Jack. The flop, and there's a queen in there. Top pair for Daniel. He's going to check it.
Check.
Daniel with his usual pot control there, out of position.
Check back. 5 of spades. Action on Negreanu.
Well, he figures he has the best hand, and as a rule, the best hand eventually should bet.
The sophistication of your analysis knows no bounds, sir. 40,000.
If you don't think you have the best hand, you should fold.
I guess it has bounds. There is the fold from Perez.
Well played.
Daniel shows.
I wasn't folding.
I know. It was a trap, right?
Well, it was a little trap and a little like maybe let's find out. Queen Jack.
Openen, dat flush draw.
You miss.
Daniel's run good continues.
Check, check, check.
Another year at the World Series wraps up with this main event. 245 players left. Joe McKeon, the first over 3 million. The average stack at the final table will be about 21 million. Antonio Esfandiari has almost all his chips in the middle, but his 7s need help against the pocket 8s of the at-risk player Heinz Kamutsky.
I could use a good suck out right now.
Huh? He wants to win flips. Now he wants to suck out. He wants it all. And oh, look, Antonio's behind. What a surprise.
7, 8. Come on, man. We look alike. Let's make this happen, all right? 8. I said 8. I didn't mean it. Queen 7 club.
That's our analyst. Turn cards a king. Kamutsky still best.
Antonio won $5 grand when this guy folded a huge hand. Now he wants to knock him out. He'll need a 7 or queen to do it.
The river card, deuce of clubs. That secures the double up for Kamutsky.
Kamutsky gets healthy, and Esfandiari gets very unhealthy. 5 big blinds left.
Guess Antonio will be at that November final table, but just sitting next to us in the announce booth. 71,000 chips for Antonio now. Meanwhile, Kamutsky up to 50 big blinds. To another table, and Ness Riley, she has struck the traditional all-in pose. Her ace-king off with the onerous task of running down the pocket aces of Matt Waxman.
Waxman might be a nice guy with great hair, but if he knocks out Ness Riley, we are not on speaking terms. Again.
There's the flop. Bleak, bleak, bleak for Ness.
No good news there for Ness Riley.
Tim Riley, her husband, was knocked out earlier on this day 4. Turn card. 5 of spades ends the drama and the main event for Ness Riley.
Your husband Tim cashed in 360th. She cashes in 244th.
Nice bump for this poker pro who finished 45th in last year's main event.
He's heartless.
She went deep in my first big score.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't make it like that much further, but we're not like competitive between each other. He was just happy for me to still be here I was really happy to come with him into this day 4. I just hope we did better than that, but maybe next year.
Great run for both. As the Amazon room empties out, the minds of the remaining players fill with thoughts of, could this be my year? Back to Antonio and his short stack sorrows. DJ Buckley has the action with ace jack. The Minnesota poker pro raises it up to 30,000. Antonio with ace 10 of spades. He's reaching, he's all in. Buckley makes the call. Antonio learns Buckley hasn't pipped.
I don't know how this guy makes a living. He almost always gets it in with the worst of it. I guess he won a flip 3 years ago en route to winning $18 million in a tournament, and bang, everyone thinks he's an expert. And now he's probably going to beg for cards.
Here's a flop. It is a 10 king. The magician finds the rabbit.
Just keep it low. For God's sake. Deuce. Deuce. Just a deuce. We don't need a 10. We're good.
Turns a 6. Good enough.
Buckley looking for a queen or a jack to eliminate Esfandiari.
The river card is an 8. He was 28% to win it and keeps his seat.
He's indestructible.
We're still alive, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Buckley did everything right, but the bottom line is Antonio still has chips.
Still gotta fight. Still gotta fight.
The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by the WSOP social game, poker's #1 mobile game. Free download available now in the App Store and Google Play. 5 women remain in this main event field. Medical malpractice attorney Kelly Minkin has over $1.3 million.
Historically, medical malpractice attorneys have not done well in the main event.
And our chip leader for quite a while now is Pennsylvania's Joe McKeon.
If I ran the main event, every day the chip leader would have to shave.
At the other end of that rainbow, even though he just doubled up, Antonio Esfandiari is still in desperation mode with 11 big blinds. He's on the button with 10-6 of spades.
Well, he's probably going to push here, and he's going to be behind. Why? Because he's always behind.
Well, the 10 of spades worked for him once already. And here it is, all in, 132. To fellow pro Vivek Rajkumar with King Jack.
Oh, Vivek's got a legitimate hand. He's a legitimate player. He doesn't have a bracelet yet, but he doesn't have the magician's magical touch.
Vivek says all in for almost 500,000. To the big blind, Georges Georgiou, 44-year-old amateur.
Well, 2 all-ins in front of you. You want to see aces or nothing.
Looks like he's going to fold his ace-4 suited. So Antonio all in again, behind again.
Yeah, Antonio Esfandiari versus the world, part 37. The world is usually no match.
By the way, Vivek no longer a full-time pro. He's now working with a gaming startup company. So Antonio looking for help. How many times we said that? Well, maybe it's time for Bijan and Antonio to go to dinner. Here's the flop. 4 deuce jack, 2 spades, a jack for Vivek, but a flush draw for Antonio.
Of course Antonio has a flush draw. 9 outs? I disagree. He's got 9 lives.
Turn card now. A black 9, but a club.
I want black. You want black? I want black. You want that big black? I like the adrenaline.
Well, Antonio needs a black one, but it's got to be a spade or he is wamboozled.
And the river card, spade!
Go! Lon, I'm taking Antonio with me the next time I go to the doctor. No way I'm getting bad news then.
Well, the main event means just as much to an accomplished pro as to a first-timer. See you tomorrow, Antonio.
Holy I never do that stuff.
Bag and tag time for the survivors. Always a good feeling. Every day an adventure. Every day brings promise of further riches. Get some sleep, a new game plan, and write your own chapter of glory in poker history.
I can't believe Antonio's bagging chips somewhere.
Joe McKeon in great shape. He's on top heading to day 5. Pro Brian Hastings in 4th with 237 players left. Kara Scott now is with Daniel Negreanu.
What can we expect to see for day 5 from you?
Well, for me, you're going to see the same old Dean Eggs. You know, kid poker at his best, doing, you know, the small ball thing, looking for my opponents to make mistakes, avoiding big traps. I mean, this tournament, there's a lot of, like, minefields, right? You have to avoid them as best you can to get to the end.
At the main event, Fatima Marrero de Mello found out that Olympic gold and gold bracelets don't necessarily go hand in hand.
Thank you. Good luck. Good luck. Thank you.
And Mike Shanahan found out that a chip lead can be fleeting.
Good luck, everybody.
For Antonio Esfandiari, making day 5 was no small feat. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarron. We're on to day 5 at the 2015 main event with Daniel and Antonio on board.
I never do that stuff.